Spins.
Go. Yeah. Direct it, make it. Go. Yeah. As I was told.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to Connected. I'm your host, DJ Is. I'm here hanging with my girl, Miss Cloie. Cloie, say what's up.
Hey, guys. Hey, happy Monday.
Happy Monday. It's a fun day, hopefully.
It is.
So
we're going to make
this
it
is, yeah, we have to, definitely. So we are here. This is episode 30. Cloie, we're knocking them down. I mean, before you know it, we're going to be at show 40. We're going to be at show 50. I mean, we're running, girl.
Wait, hi, Soda Music and Zaina. Hey, they're shout-outs, morning shout-outs, right? Happy Monday, y'all know it.
Oh, man. All right, they're already active, which is great because they can get their Q&A questions ready since they're on right now. So when we get to the Q&A, we can knock out your questions. So thanks for tuning in. They're flowing in today.
I should also say, before we go, for everybody, thank you. Dwight, oh my God, he's shouting at you. So guys, for all of you tuning in, you can watch us live on Is Connected Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or Google Hangouts, but we're recommending that you watch it on the official Connected. That's hashtag powered by recording connection version. So that you can get to that at rrfedu.com/connected. We'll put that in a graphic because that's a lot of information.
That's a lot. And also, too, you guys can check out our new podcast on iTunes and Google Play. So you definitely can catch our audio and feed there as well. But again, thank you guys for tuning in with us today. This is a place you can catch us every Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. For our newcomers, Cloie, go ahead and kind of just give them a breakdown of what we do here on Connected every Monday. Kind of just fill them in and bring them up to speed.
That I can do for you. Because, guys, here's what we're doing. We're simply giving you jobs, info surrounding jobs in the job search, and a little inspiration and information to kick you in the make it move, right? Because life is not waiting for you. You better go out and grab it by the I think this is going to be a sound
balls. You know, we're just going to say, yeah, Cloie, let's just say it, man. Go out there, get up. It's Monday. It's morning time. It's your time to get your day going. Man, grab the day by the cojones, the balls, the jewels.
All of it.
Whatever other words we could say. So
if we were on the farm, the day be half over by now.
Right. And, you know, the great thing here is, I mean, you know, we try to keep it moving as best as we can for you guys. And we try to give you guys some insight on what we're doing throughout the week via our Instagram and our social media, Twitter, Facebook, and all that. But for the most part, you know, more than just educating and mentoring and sharing experiences, guys, we're bringing you jobs live and direct, jobs that are just right now, you know, and really it's great because it allows us to kind of see what it's looking like for you guys on the resume side. If you're putting a reel together, just other things that we can give you information and advice on so that your presentation is straight. You know what I mean? You know, because it's like, right? Because presentation is everything. Don't look stupid. Presentation is everything. So I'm glad you guys are tuned in today. And we got an OG tuning in again. And you know, I just got to shout out Cats because Cats has been rocking with us since day one. And we got a little cool surprise for those, you know, just good and faithful cats that tune in and rock with us here every Monday. So shout out to you guys.
Connected with us, shout out to you. And if you have not connected with us, please do so across social media. We're at Is Connected on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Google Plus. You can email stuff to us. Please shout us out. Hashtag get your grind on. Hashtag is got jobs. Hashtag Cloie got jobs. By the way, there's no H there.
Hashtag I'm gonna get my ass up this week and make something happen. That's a long hashtag, Cloie. I might have like a boss. So today, guys, we have another special guest, familiar face, and I'm not gonna blast him out yet, but we're gonna bring him in shortly to kind of just give you some information and the roundabout and how things work, even on the film side. But before we do that, we're gonna jump up into our grind ops. And Cloie, what do we want them to do before we go into these grind ops?
Oh, so guys, there's these things called pens, and we're gonna grab that, and we're gonna grab something to write with. or perhaps your electronic device with your texting thumbs so that you can take notes. That's all.
Yes.
That's all. Because we're giving you great information as well as inspiration. You're only going to get it here.
There you go. So, Cloie, I'm going to let you start off the grind ops. I'm looking for something on my other screen right now, but if you can.
Oh my goodness, I'm looking for something too. That's so crazy, Is. Okay, so, oh, there's so many things happening in our feed. This is crazy. Okay, sorry, I'm get distracted by shiny things. So our very first grind op is coming to you out of Los Angeles, California. It is for post-production and data I/O assistant, okay? So here's what it is. It's Stargate Studios is seeking a post-production and data I/O assistant, which is just basically data in and out, but specifically geared towards visual effects, animation, and video games. And the job is to join their South Pasadena studio full-time. Guys, a full-time gig, nothing better.
It's
right?
a full-time gig, gig.
Hello.
Yep.
And the details are as follows. Assistant will be offloading, transcoding, downloading, uploading, and managing digital assets. He or she will also be responsible for monitoring space on servers and working with the tech team to archive and restore material as needed. Candidate must have experience using Adobe Premiere, After Effects, and SpeedGrade. And candidate must have the ability to handle a fast-paced and occasionally high-pressure environment. I feel like this was a very clearly spelled out job op. So when we have our guests, shout out to y'all job op people that make this happen. It's very, very clear. Thank you for that.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know,
Chloe,
I feel like we should really bring in our special guest. Because,
I agree.
Just looking over these details, I mean, this is something he probably can definitely chime in on and share a bit of his knowledge and information. So, folks, without any further ado, I'd like to introduce to you my man, my mellow, Mr. Edwin. What's up, man?
Good morning, Iz. Good morning, Cloie. How are you guys?
Good to see you. Yes.
Nice to see you. Guys, this is Edwin Menjivar. He is our Sultan of Grind Opps.
He's the cat. This is the guy who makes it all happen from the really intricate inner workings and the whole process of these jobs and everything it entails. He sees it every day. He's on it every day. So what better time to have my man come in and chime in on some of these details? Because, just looking at these details, Edwin, I mean, even for me, it's above my pay grade, man. So, this is definitely something you see every day. This is something you work in and you understand the climate, you understand the language. And I'm just looking at some of these details, man, and they're very, very detailed. I mean, you're talking transcoding, downloading, uploading, managing digital assets.
It's like a wrap.
Yeah, man. It's like a tongue twister, man. So if you can, man, just kind of, just based off of your experience, man, what does this information lend itself to as far as experience, what they want to be prepared for, their resume, is it, does it apply to this type of job opportunity? Just kind of shed some light on that for us, man.
Great question. The reason this one stuck out to me, why? Because not only is it very tech heavy, but there are a lot of people looking for not just any opportunity as PAs. No, they want to see the whole process of the post-production, Sure. So let's say, putting myself in as an example, I see this, I'm tuning in. I've tuned in since show one. Shout out to our man that's been with us. Wow, since episode one.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So when I see that, I see manuals. I see, okay, let me look this up. Let's literally take notes either on our phone or on our notebook and actually do the research. We know that there's a delay time on applying. So you turn in your resume, you put in your experience, and then you wait for the call. But while you're doing that, do that research. Check what transcoding means. Instead of going on your Instagram, Google transcoding, and dedicate a few hours of reading all this and having an idea of how to do it. You'll be surprised that it's easier than it sounds,
Yes.
Right. Right.
Yes.
Now, I noticed too that a lot of these environments for these jobs are, they're more or less fast paced, or the pressure of deadlines, meeting deadlines, and working with people. It just, in your experience, Edwin, like what are some of the things you've seen that have kind of spelled out an intense environment, meaning, the workload, the expectation, getting things done on time, meeting deadlines, working with people? Because, another thing I've noticed too is, some folks, not going to say they have a shell, but when it comes to working with a group of people, it can be overwhelming for some people, and they don't really know how to engage in those kind of environments. What are some of the things you've been able to see in the film aspect or the film industry where it does come with those kind of environments that can kind of be intense?
I think in general, just building a film, it's if one cannot work with others just in a film, just think about the film set. You have PAs, you have extras, you have actors, it's a whole small city running around. It's a mobile small city. Think of it as a team. And when these deadlines, this is it, and we put this because that's what they ask. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be, of course, they're going to be strict on their deadlines. But what they're trying to say is that they're looking for somebody responsible. They're looking for somebody that they're not going to have to reteach things. And, it's just like a team. Everybody plays their position. They want to make sure that position is covered. They don't want somebody else to stay with you and make sure they're on top of you.
And I'm glad you pointed that out, because what I want our viewers to understand, especially, is that these jobs and being on site in these environments isn't really the platform to be learning. You're definitely going to be in these environments, and you're gonna, you never really stop learning, but to the point where you're like, you don't really know what's going on, and you don't really kind of have an idea what you're doing. Like, you don't want to use these opportunities to educate you. You want to be experienced to some degree, and then get in there, be able to at least still perform and do what you need to do. But you definitely don't want to treat that as like the learning your time to learn. You want to be able to get in there and perform. Yeah,
exactly.
Now,
sorry,
go ahead, Emma, you got it.
No,
No,
sorry, Cloie, sorry. And just bouncing off on what you said, of course, you're not going to know it all of the job. It's just impossible, because each employee works differently, but you have to have that edge of fake it till you make it, if that makes sense, You have to have that little
Can I jump in for 1 second?
Of
I'm going to
course,
jump in for 1 second, because I do want to also equate this, since we're also, shout out to all of you Film Connection students out there, yes, to our Recording Connection, our Film Connection, all of that, but paying super attention. I'd like to equate it to going to acting school, right? Like, you can go to acting school, but that's only going to take you but so far. The rest is on the job training. And coming up, we call that baptism by fire, right? It's like you only can learn but so much from a textbook and a Google. The rest has to be practical application, and you will fail, quote unquote fail, if your ego is attached to it, right? You will never fail, you will just learn.
Right. Now, let me ask you this, Edwin. What kind of jobs are you seeing right now that are hot in the film industry?
Depending on your area, LA, because LA is run, because we have a lot of unions, especially in film, is huge on that. So in LA, it's mostly post-production, things like that, because the unions already have their people, and it's a whole process, and we're going to go into detail on how to get into these unions. But for example, Georgia right now, Georgia, they need a lot of PAs. I mean, they need people to work on these sets, because a lot of production companies are flying out to these states, Canada as well, and things like that, just to film. There's tax incentives and things like that they're doing. So it really depends, but East Coast, PAs, West Coast right now, for people getting into the industry, is a lot of production, a lot of post-production, and a lot of office work, which still, that there's nothing wrong with it. That's just your way of getting in the door.
For sure. Gotcha. So now can we jump into, like, as we're talking about these jobs, and we've got some of them on the docket today, let's get right into the whole idea of a resume, because that's one of the things we're talking about today is, all things, what the format of the resume, the length of the resume, like people wonder, should we attach it to the resume? Should I not attach it to the resume? Should I send a link? What are you seeing that is helping people to be successful in regards to resumes?
It's making it easy on employers. You know, they're seeing hundreds of resumes every day. Just send them a one page. One page is enough. That's more than enough for them to look at it, bullet point the things that you're familiar with. And when I say that, don't just say, oh, experience with this. No, experience with these type of cameras, red cameras, and be very specific. When you're specific, you're not shooting for, oh, hopefully they're using these cameras. That's telling the employer, okay, this guy knows his equipment. This guy knows the different. This guy's not going to set my set on fire, right?
But it'd be glorious.
So those are the key things for a resume.
And what about format?
Yeah.
Like PDF.
Format? Yeah. PDF. Obviously, you know, just give a PDF.
It's
easy,
you know, if
right? They ask for, it's easier. If they ask for a cover letter, and they don't give you an option to do both, you know, sometimes it's like, oh, attach your cover letter here, then you do it. But if it's just like send your resume, just send both in one PDF so they could open both. Because if your resume is great, they're gonna look at your cover letter and be like, wow, this guy's great. You know, he even went the extra mile to build a cover letter.
And then for those of you that don't know, do we know what PDF stands for?
Break it down, girl. Break it down.
Oh, no, I actually don't know. I was just asking. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I believe it's portable document format.
There you go.
No, who's going to know? And Google. Let's ask in Google. Let's verify. Talk amongst yourself. So what about the people that are nowadays, because we are so heavy in Google, shout out Google to your folks here at Connected. What about links to resumes? What are your thoughts on that?
Links to resumes are good if they ask for it. I'm a fan of just sending it. Make sure that when they open it, you know, because employers aren't going to take the time to follow this. Obviously, LinkedIn is huge, so include your LinkedIn. You know, if it's built correctly, right? If it's kind of not, you know, just be smart about it. Play your game smart. But any links like LinkedIn is the biggest one that I'm for it. You know, other than that,
those that don't know what it is too, can you just quickly can you tell them what LinkedIn is?
Awesome,
for people that have been living under a rock.
What I would describe LinkedIn as like the modern way of connecting with not only employers but professionals. You know, you show your resume. This is where people can show your resume. But it's also like the Facebook, I would say, the professional Facebook, where you could contact people that are in the same workforce, that you know, employers, things like that, where they could go back. You know, a lot of employers use LinkedIn, but they'll tell you if they don't, you know, make sure you send your resume.
Gotcha.
So also, let's just say for LinkedIn, and it's still a matter of social media, so you got to clean it up, y'all. If there are pictures of you falling out of things or legs up over your head, probably not the best. So just police it, you know, just police it, make sure it's presentable, it's suitable, your Facebook, all that kind of stuff too, because employers do look. You know?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And a great motivating thing that I like to do is like when I'm like, you know what, should I really do it? I'm thinking, what if the next applicant is the one doing everything? This next person will be doing it. So I might as well, you know, get my act together, right?
Thank you. I think this is a great opportunity to move into Grind Op number 2, no?
Absolutely. So you want me to hit this one, Chloe? You want to
hit it hard? Hit it.
5, 4, 3. No, just kidding. All right, guys, this is in the field of recording, one of my favorite fields, recording. Audio editor, radio station seeking audio editor for the sports newsroom department. Sounds like it could be really cool. Editor will be cutting sound bites for game highlights from college football, basketball, MLB, NASCAR, PGA, and NBA games. Man, I'm signing up for this one. Editor will be running newsroom operations, sound during nights and weekends. Candidate must have 1 to 2 years with audio editing using Pro Tools and Cool Edit experience. Candidate must be familiar with sports. I like, you know, I think too, it's like what I like about that last detail is obviously you got to know the field, right? It's sports.
Yes.
So
Like,
a
I'm
part
not
of you, yeah, a part of you should definitely be a sports fan, whether it's basketball, football, NASCAR, because you know that lends itself to, you know, you obviously having the right information and just knowing the language of sports. You know what I mean? I remember seeing a couple of guys who were commentators that came from another field and thought they could commentate sports, and as a fan, watcher and goer and lover, I could tell these cats, they didn't really know the language and they didn't last long. So definitely something to consider and to take into consideration for this particular grind up. You definitely want to know just the road to sports, and you definitely want to have definitely some experience, because you're going to be like in the newsroom department. Like, this is no joke. Like, this is
no joke.
Yeah, you got to be.
You're gonna be like doing the circles on the camera, or like the.
Yeah, and you know, there's a lot of folks out there that really know their stats when it comes to sports. So this is something that you should definitely take in and say, okay, let me do some research. Let me get these numbers in my head. Let me just know the environment, because you're gonna be in the newsroom. These sports things, from what I've heard, it's no joke, even on just the editing side.
Because it all moves so quickly.
Yeah.
You know?
What are your take on some of these details, Edwin?
Job security. This is a network. This is amazing. This is one of those finds that I found that we found. I found last week, and it had just gone up, and I was like, this is a perfect one, especially on how our industry is right now. You know, so guys who are into editing, that like sports, that resume should be in the connected email right now, because this is job securities. A lot of studios work right now as with independent contractors, engineers. They'll call you when there's a session, et cetera, et cetera. A network is always running. Everybody loves sports. I mean, sports are always going to be around. So this one, that's the one thing that stands out for me with this one.
Right.
And usually with networks, you're going to have benefits and things like that.
Right.
So that is the number one thing, aside from everything that you said.
And leading with your strengths, in your resume.
And just thinking too, like, as a lover of sports and what I've been able to see, just even on the commercial side or 1 minute clips, on the editing side, they're very sparse, very quick, and very just very cool, you know. And I think that's something to definitely take into consideration for the editors that are seeking out this particular job, is that get yourself familiar with the different categories. Like, PGA looks completely different than the edited sports video running. Football looks different than basketball. So familiarize yourself with just the different editing styles of each category sport. Because that's only going to allow them to see just visually, if you even know just what comes with the climate of what you're applying for. Sports is very sparse, very energetic, very just quick cuts. So, you know, for those editors, I mean, looking to seek this opportunity, it's like, make sure you're up to speed on your editing game in the sports world.
Yes.
The look is everything.
Yeah. Even though the is representing the Giants, I'm not going to say anything, but I mean, he's representing the Giants.
Let me clarify. Let me clarify. Now, since show one, folks have just about seen me wear a different hat every show. I'm a hat collector, Edwin.
Fair enough. Okay.
You know, it's funny. and yo, it's funny you brought that up, man, because I was hanging at actually a baseball field, right? And I was just hanging at the bar, and this cat tapped me on my shoulder and was like, "Please tell me you're not a San Francisco fan." I was like, "Man, I'm a hat fan. I'm a hat fan."
What if I am? Well, you want to get connected? You want to get
because
connected?
you know, but cats are real about their sports. You know what I'm saying? Like, cats, you know, I mean, just look at how fans go about just the Raider fans. Like, these Raider fans ain't no joke out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it goes down.
Now that the Rams are back, forget it. People
the Rams. People are getting stomped, socked. You know?
Just not that serious. I think I'm going to take this opportunity, y'all. Why don't we move to Grind Op number 3? Oh wait, shout out. Number 2 was out of DC. Shout out DC.
Shout out to DC. And I'm glad you caught that, Cloie, because I actually forgot to mention that. So thank you for having my back on that, girl. See, Cloie, you know, man, I knew, man, when I handpicked you, Cloie, I knew it was for a reason.
A DC girl. You can take the girl out of DC, but you can't take DC out of the girl.
Oh, all right. Okay, I hear you.
From the DC area. Sorry. What were you saying? Round out number 3.
Here we go. Moving in. Number 3 is in the field of film, which is why we have my man Edwin here. So this is production assistant, radio station seeking audio editor for the sports newsroom department. This is in, am I covering the right one?
Oh,
production
assistant.
Guys, we have a hard time in Connected headquarters over the weekend. We will.
Okay, here we go. Here we go, production assistant. This is in Atlanta, Georgia. Indie film seeking production assistant starting out in October. Must have strong work ethic, critical thinking skills, and positive attitude. That's the first time we're hearing critical nugget skills, guys. Critical nugget skills.
Responsibility, also common sense.
Yeah. Responsibilities will include paperwork, errands, and building sets. Prior experience in a film set preferred. Okay, Edwin, here we go. So building sets. Man, talk to me about that.
Building sets, you don't have to be an architect. You don't have to be a carpenter, right? But, just building, anything from building lights, any, stands, things like that. Things that are going to, obviously enhance, the picture, right? Things like that. Nothing wood, things like that. I actually spoke directly with the employer. And he has a few projects, for the rest of the year, but he told me that's literally, these are like, I verbatimly quoted him. He's like, I need people. He doesn't need just one. He needs a few, that are going to be helping him, that are going to set things up, because he has to do other things, right? So building sets, think of that, you're coming into empty lot, you're telling me, okay, here's the stuff. You're going to be working with a team and following directions and things like that. So no need to know how to build a desk or something.
Or a deck. He's not going to have you up on his roof.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
exactly.
Now also, Edwin, real quick, right before the building sets, I'm looking at, will also include paperwork and errands. What do some of the errands look like in the?
Yeah, so errands would be things like anything from food, anything that they need, that catering, will need, things like that. That's what he's looking for, errands as in paperwork, scripts, things like that from his office to the set, things like that.
Got you.
Yeah.
So and gopher.
And
gopher. Okay.
And another important, obviously, detail to this information is I'm looking at, strong work ethic, critical thinking skills, and positive attitude, which, to me, you just want to have out of the gate anyway, whether you're applying for this or something else. I think, we always say, Edwin, positive attitude, work ethic, thinking skills is obviously the fundamentals of obtaining any job, right? And it's a huge part of the presentation. I know for me, working with people, whether I'm in a studio environment or whether I'm at a company, going over products, I always kind of like get more energy when I notice people around me are excited, they're passionate, even if they're going through something, but they're deciding to come into the workplace with a positive attitude. And, you'll be surprised how far just good energy goes and how it drives people, and I think with a positive attitude, then the work ethic, people that are willing to put the hours in, the time in, the sacrifice, and critical thinking skills. I'd like to think everybody had that, but a lot of people don't have critical thinking skills. As you mentioned, Cloie, common sense, which we all know isn't that common. But, I think
books can only take you but so far.
Yeah. And I think, working with different people really takes you out of your comfort zone, because it really gives you real-time experience as to how people do things differently. And they might, you can always learn something from working with people. And that's why I always say, not everybody has the ability to, let alone be social, but to now then work with people. And I think there's so much information that you can extract from these environments where there is a group of people, because everybody has a different way of doing things, but it's still very informational. And you know, I know we always say, you know, when you're going into these places, man, you want to be vibrant, you want to have energy, you want to have a positive attitude, because I know for me, if I'm looking at somebody and possibly hiring somebody, that's one of the things I always look at first, which is their energy and their vibe, because you want to be around people. You're going to be around them every day.
Every day.
Every day.
And I'm going to tell you, there is nothing worse than walking onto a tense set. Whether you are a contract role or a freaking day player, you walk onto that set and the energy is wrong, you instantly feel it. And it's like, oh, damn, this is wrong. You turn into Eeyore. You're like, whoa.
You instantly do this right here.
Yeah, you sure do. You retract and retreat. And you sure do. And then it turns into just a paycheck, which is fine. Yeah. The paycheck is lovely. We all want a paycheck. And we do this because it's more than that, right?
Right. Yes. Right.
Can we got something special planned for right now. We just hit our grind up number 3. I don't know. It's show number 30, episode 150. It's 150 jobs we've given out. I mean, episode 30, 150 jobs. Yeah.
Yo, matter of fact, man, I like to say we're giving out more jobs than the president.
Did you hear his speech yesterday?
But I love Obama. I love me some Obama. But you know, hey man, we're giving out jobs in real time. And but before we got, this is big. So before we got,
I'm not using the H word. I'm not using the H word.
Cloie, we do have something special for one of our OG viewers who has been here since day one.
Yes. It's a new little segment we're going to try. We're not trying it. We're doing it. Screw try.
We're doing it. As a matter of fact, let's roll to this segment. Hit him with it. Now that segment is for our man Cats. We're going to highlight Cats today because Cats has been tuning in since day one, has been here to get the information, has been here to get the know-how, has been here to see what opportunities are available consistently. And we want to incentivize our OG viewers. You know, we want to give them something, you know, even if they haven't been able to lock down anything yet, we want to make sure that we do something special for you guys who have been tuning in since day one. So you know, I got some goods. I got some goods here that I know my man could use because he's predominantly looking into the film industry to lock something down. So, you know, I got a really dope Q8 zoom camera that I can send him. I got some mics, some cool stuff that we're gonna send him. So we definitely want to get all his information. And by the way, guys, just before we go into any more of the jobs, we want to let them know where they can actually apply for these jobs and only apply for these jobs, which hit it with them, Cloie.
Well, you can, for Cats, send us your info at connected@rrfedu.com, right? You guys are going to apply for these jobs at rrfedu.com/connected, okay? Again, that is rrfedu.com/connected. And then we'll put the link in because it's also a lot of information. And my eyesight's not that great, but it's wonderful. I'm thankful to have it.
So, you know,
yes, Kat.
And, you know, so Cats, definitely, man, shout out to you, man. Thank you for consistently tuning in with us. And shout out to Rochelle. She just mentioned that she's going to apply for the position in Atlanta, Georgia. So definitely thank you for that, dear. Like you, Cloie was saying, if there's anything you want to get to us, and this goes for everybody that's viewing, make sure you send us. I don't care if it's bio, I don't care if it's music, resume, anything you want to send us, get it to us so we can look at it and try to help you the best way we possibly can.
Absolutely. Yes. And we want to hear back. Please, did you get a job? Were you up for a job? Did you get to interview a job? Please let us know, because we would love to shout you out on this air. Why? Because we love you. And we're here.
We love you, man. We love you.
For the same good.
We love you. We love you.
Right.
All right. Without any further ado, we're going to move into...
Grind Up. Before we do, we got another contest happening next week. We sure do. Send us your version of an audio soundtrack for our show, open and close, about 18 seconds. Send it to connected@rrfedu.com. And we need all entries by 5 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time. East Coasters, you get a little bonus this Friday. If it goes, if we like it, we'll use it, and we'll send you something from Iz's treasure chest. Again, so we want to hear what you have to say. Your audio, open and close for the show, like 18 seconds.
Yeah. So let me just kind of give you let me break that down for you. So if you notice, we have an intro piece at the top of the show. There's music that exists there. So we like to feature some of your music in our opening and closing of the show. And Cloie said it's roughly around 7 minutes, roughly around there. So you don't have to send a minute of audio, but we like to feature some of our creators and what they do, which is you guys. So definitely keep that in mind, and we'll have something for you, man. So definitely send us something.
Hashtag overperform. So, sorry, what were you saying about Grind Op number 4, Quattro?
So Grind Op number Quattro is in the field of recording. This is audio engineer. Esports programming company seeking an audio engineer for their new Midtown facility. This is in New York, New York.
Time out real quick. Shout out to New York. Shout out to New York. Shout out.
It's a little tough right now. It's going on. So, definitely keeping folks in prayer out there and encouraging their spirits. But back to this, engineer will be responsible for operating, routing, recording, and mixing live broadcasts on a Yamaha CL1. Make sure you know what a Yamaha CL1 is. Do some homework. Engineer will be expected to take direction and communicate effectively with the production staff. Candidate must at least have 1 year of experience in live audio. I love when they say that, because that's a shout-out opportunity for us, for all our recording connection students who definitely have real-time experience. And that's just how we do things. I mean, in the real world with real mentors. So this is definitely a great opportunity for all our film recording connection students. You know, it's been a long time for me since I've even worked on a Yamaha CL1. I've seen them. They've been around for a long time, but they're really, really great broadcasting boards that a lot of folks use. So I would suggest if anyone who's not hip to a Yamaha CL1, you can definitely find it on YouTube. And just to understand its functionality and what it does, definitely do your homework in that department. And you'll be expected to take direction. So make sure you know how to take direction, and make sure you know how to communicate effectively. And I think that's something we constantly cover on our end, is just understanding how to deal with folks, how to take in, you know, ideas. And you always want to be open-minded. You always want to make sure your posture is just open and welcoming for information, because the information is only going to take you where you need to go. So you definitely want to have that kind of personality that lends itself to people being comfortable with sharing things, and maybe constructive criticism, maybe just, hey man, you might want to try this, or hey man, I've noticed in my experience of doing things, there's a quicker way to do that. So you always want to make sure you're like, you know, receptible to those things. Okay.
Absolutely.
Is there anything that stood out to you, Edwin, on these details?
Just continuing on what you're saying, is a great way to do that is just asking, how can I improve? After your first day, how can I improve? That works every time. Everybody's in shock. Every time I say that, people are shocked. They're like, oh, wow, you're open to being taught. You know, that is incredible. What you said right there, I'm all about that. That's amazing. Yeah, and CL1, I mean,
overperform.
Yes,
and you know,
exactly.
You know what I noticed too? This is a new facility, and I always notice, you know, when companies get into a new facility, the first thing they talk about is just the new energy in the building. We got a new building. Oh man, it just feels new. Oh man, the ideas start pouring in. So there's always great energy going into those type of situations where, you know, it's just a new building. I remember when I signed on with LP Percussion, and they talked to me about this new facility that they were going to be putting together for their artists in New York, and everybody was just excited about it, because it was just going to drive new energy for where they were going as a company and what they were looking to do with their artists. And when I finally got to that location, I just felt it in the room, and they had all these ideas on what they want to do next. And so those are great situations to fall in. So guys, you know, if you're going to apply for this gig, man, this can be a really, really good just new energy type thing, you know, where there's a lot of new ideas, a lot of new creativity. So it's just definitely something to keep in mind. These tend to be really good environments.
Yeah.
Exactly. Go for it.
With that being said, can we transition back into DC for Grind Op number 4? I'm sorry, by 4 I mean 5. Grind Op number 5.
Grind Op number 5 is in the field of film.
Yes.
Associate producer, documentary maker seeking an energetic young creative producer to work on weekly kids programming block.
The voices, the cartoons. I'm sorry.
Seeking an energetic young creative producer. That just sounds fresh to me.
Doesn't it?
They're looking for a specific individual. You know what I'm saying? Like young, which lends itself to like not contaminated by rules or, you know, like
jaded by anything.
Jaded
by
by
rejection.
We want somebody young to run amok up in here.
Tainted by the harsh cruelties of the world.
Okay, so associate producer will be responsible for creating the weekly programming, rundown, write voice over taglines, supervise edit, voiceover, and mix sessions. So there's a lot of job descriptions there.
Yeah.
He or she will be responsible for coordinating interviews and shoots to managing final master delivery for air and final documentation.
Yes.
Candidate must have experience in children's media. Candidate must be familiar with Outlook, Excel, Word. Experience with Schedule All and VPS is an added bonus. There's a lot going on in these details. Okay, so
yes,
I'd like to cover. Let's start with coordinating interviews and shoots to managing final master delivery. So coordinating interviews, again, you're working with folks, you're putting things together. So when I think of the word coordinating, I think of structure. I think of dealing with people, as I mentioned. I think of really knowing how to even coordinate. I mean, how well are you with coordinating in your own personal life? I mean, that's really like the essence of it, because you know, you got to know how to put things together, and then you got to manage, you know, the delivery time, right?
Yep.
And final documentation. So it's really starting it from just the bare bones of something and getting it all the way to the finish line and being able to present it.
Yes.
Now, Edwin, so
yes,
you know, when you start something, you know, there's a bunch of things that can happen in the midst of starting something, getting it going, and then finally getting it done and closing it out and having it ready for its delivery date. What are some of the things that you need to have really on lock and in your daily practice to really start something and finish something in this setting?
Of course. Great question. The first thing is like what you mentioned, making sure that you have everything down, right? When you have everything down, you know how to, you know, plan your day before you go to sleep the night before. You have everything on your notepad or on your phone. All right, we got this and this and this. That's great. I think that another critical thing is picking the right team. Are you able to see someone working and be like, oh, this guy has some special as associate producer? You don't have to know all those. You just are going to have to work with the right people, right? You're going to work with the right people. So now that takes me, Cloie, to a question to you. What are the greatest qualities that you've seen from producers that you've enjoyed working with in your career?
Oh, well, other than just general communication, I think that with producers, it's one of those jobs you're catering to a bunch of different personalities, and the people that I have found that have the ability to speak to everyone as if they are their sole focus in the world, be it for a 30-second conversation, be it for a 30-minute conversation, where you don't feel like you're just a cog in a wheel, right? Like, yes, we keep in mind the hierarchy, but being able to communicate clearly, concisely, and with a level of respect is what I have found to be the most admirable quality and the most appreciated quality you know, because sometimes you are the star and then sometimes you are not the star. And to be able to speak to everybody equally is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And being responsible, wouldn't you say? Taking responsibility when you're working as a team, as a producer, not throwing your team under the bus and be like, okay, my apology. Because then your team sees you like, wow, this guy
Look,
has my back, you know?
Connected was like, so drop the mic. Connected said, drop the mic and get to Q&A. That's what Connected said.
See?
Connected
but we keep it going. The show must go on. The show must go on.
The show and the show does always go on. One thing I don't want to leave out is you definitely want to have experience for this grind up, because it's a great opportunity, but what their expectation isn't simple. Okay, they're expecting you to be able to handle weekly programming, rundown, write voice over taglines, supervise, edit, voice over, and mix sessions. So the expectation is not something to take lightly here. I mean, you're dealing with the mixing side, then you're dealing with the supervising side, then you're dealing with the programming, writing, voice over tagline. So it's like you got to be a jack of all trades on this one.
Yes.
And, but although it is a great opportunity, it's something you can really embed yourself in and grow. And like I said, you definitely want to have experience going into this, because the expectation is high. Okay.
And can also probably be a great job or this would be great on a resume for various jobs, right? So it is from this job, it sounds like you'd be like, oh, I really like the field of writing. I want to like taglines, like I could do that. Right. Or I really like this whole admin thing. Great, I like that. Ooh, I really like the thing goes like this, like a not crossroads, but you could branch off into a bunch of different things.
Yeah, you can. There's a lot of tentacles. There's a lot of tentacles. And the tricky thing is, because they're asking for a young creative producer, you know, as far as having that type of experience, it's a little tough. And then you got to be hip to just what the weekly kids programming even looks like, right? You gotta be within the vicinity of what that creative even is. So there's a lot to take in here, especially if you are a young creative producer.
Yes.
You want to have some experience under your belt, and you know, I think really just diving into these expectations. Hopefully you've logged all these details in, because like I said, it's a great opportunity, but it's also a great there's a great window to get in here and underperform. So definitely make sure you
not
have
on
that.
Connected's watch. Get in there.
You better tell them.
Perform.
Hashtag
over. Cats, you tell them. Kat said it earlier. Hashtag overperform. Don't go in there looking like a fool and try to shout out Connected, because we don't want it. I don't want it.
We don't even play. I'll disown you in a heartbeat.
No, such and such still underperformed. Oh, I don't know him. I don't know.
Right. Okay, guys. Well, you know, let's jump into the most important and exciting part of the show to me, which is our Q&A, because this is where we actually get to talk to these folks. So, Chloe, do you see any questions that pop out to you that some of our guests may be answering or asking?
Sure. This is not so much a question, but this is a comment from Dwight. Dwight says, being probably the eldest of your listeners, I think first thing you have to do is prepare yourself. Know who you are and what you want to do before the opportunity arises, so you can be in the right frame of mind, which equates to a positive attitude and a good work ethic. Thank you, Dwight.
Wow.
Ooh,
you know, shout out to Dwight for that, because, you know, anytime you get, you know, a listener or a viewer, you know, giving a piece of their mind in that fashion, man, that says a lot, Dwight, and we definitely appreciate that. And I think that's what I really love about the Q&A side of this show, is that you get those thoughts going. You provoke thought, and you get people to say, you know what, man, even though I'm here looking for jobs, but I do have some information I would like to share. And just, you know, being able to do that, Dwight, we appreciate that, man, because that's really what it's about. It's not just about, you know, our views or our thoughts or our experiences, because at the end of the day, hey, man, I'm still learning. As much as I've done, I'm still learning. And, you know, that's a key thing. You know, it's like, no matter how much experience or how much success or whatever it is you achieve, you never stop learning. And once you do stop learning, you're in the casket. So, you know, man, we're still learning. So thank you for that.
And
Let's see
also
if
thank
we
you,
got.
Dwight, for being such a long time viewer. Shout out to you for.
Yeah,
for
we'll,
just sticking
we'll
it
have
out
some.
with us.
Yeah, we'll have something in the treasure chest for you, D. So keep tuning in, man. We got another one.
Edwin. Yeah, go ahead. Edwin, real quick. Katz wanted to say thank you for your resume advice because he says he's been working on red and black magic. Those are cameras for y'all for years, but he never thought to put it on his resume. So he says thank you.
Man, put it on your resume, folks. Yeah, folks want to know what it is you're familiar with. I mean, Edwin, you know, I think that's some. There's a great thing there that you can kind of just reiterate for us is how important it is to know the gear that is being used in these environments, you know, so that you can get in here and navigate, you know.
Of course. Any equipment, anything like that, they're the standards, right? In both audio and film. Audio, you're always going to see, for example, like the NS10s. Those are always going to be around. Things like that, you know. But also, you know, things like word clocks. If you're familiar with the big band, for example, if you're familiar with discrete consoles, hybrid consoles, and things like that, you know, those are the key things that are going to separate you from the rest of the pack, right? When you're specific, because employers are looking for specific things, you know, not general summaries of, oh yeah, I'm responsible for this. No, specific things.
Right. Also too, Chloe, shout out to Mike. He just sent in 3 track ideas for our opening and closing. So that's what I like to see. People who are proactive, you know, we all have to be proactive, guys. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
I even, you know, there's a lot of times where I'm on email threads and I'm dealing with people and companies. And one of the things, I make everybody accountable. Like, when's the follow-up? When are we getting back? Who's doing what? Okay, yeah. I'm like, because I'm proactive. And some people don't, they're not really proactive. And you gotta let folks know out the gate, hey man, you know, I just spent 40 minutes on this call. What's the follow-up after this? You know,
Thank you. It is no joke. Y'all, wait, I was on set. I was shooting something this week. My phone started blowing up.
I'm sorry, Chloe. I'm sorry.
I was like, wait, what's happening? But that's what you call accountability. That is what you call accountability.
Yeah. You gotta hit the ground and running, man. You gotta hit the ground and running.
Guys, shout out Billy Johnson on Twitter. Billy Johnson's watching us live. He's watching us on Twitter and he's tweeting at us. So, hi, Billy. I said, hey, Billy, hey, thank you for watching. So I'm going to say it to you in your face in the camera. Hi, thank you.
Billy, my man, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you can see and witness the energy we got going on here. You know, information, education, mentoring, jobs, the know-how, the go-get-it mentality, something we do here every Monday. So I'm glad you were able to tune in and check us out. Guys, is there anything we want to cover?
No, just get your entries in for your entries contest. In. Yes.
Yeah. And also too, guys, we can't say this enough, but here's where you apply the jobs for. Keep this in mind. Write it down somewhere. Text it to yourself. You can apply for these jobs at www.rrfedu.com/connected/shows. So make sure that you stain that in your brain, so that you know when jobs come up, you know where to go to apply for them. All right, because that's huge. Yeah. And another thing, folks, don't forget, send us your resume, send us content, send us your creativity. If we can place it, if we can help maneuver and guide you, that's what we're here for. And shout out to Edwin for joining us again. I feel like, Chloe, let me know your thoughts on this. I feel like Edwin needs to become like a regular, man. He's so cool and fresh and loaded with information. Right? You know, he's clean. You know, so yeah. So, you know, man, it's definitely a pleasure having you, Edwin. And what I like most importantly is you actually, because this is something you see on a day-to-day when it comes to the jobs.
Yeah.
That's and it's for highlights so that you can share the information on what to look for, what to be prepared for, what your resume needs to reflect. All those things are crucial because none of this works without that information.
No,
so we definitely love having you on the show here, man. Definitely.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be with you guys. You guys are legends. That's how I see you guys, because you guys have a great track record and experience. So thank you for having me. Thank you for actually having me. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Absolutely,
and where can we find you? If people want to get in touch with you, what's the best way to reach out to you?
My email is easy, Edwin, EDWIN, @rrfedu.com.
Love it. Where can we find you?
man, you can find me everywhere. Son, I'm everywhere, yo. I'm like, no, I'm just kidding. You can
He's
find me.
omnipotent.
I'm on infinite fun, son. You can find me at Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, is Avila. You can also catch me on Is Connected, and that's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And also, too, folks, hit us up throughout the week because me and Cloie, we got a lot of stuff going on. And it's a great way for you guys to see what it is we're doing on a day-to-day in real time. Let you know what the workload looks like. Let you know not hours. And a feel for
this is the
just
remix.
the demand and what it requires of us. Okay, so keep up with us the week, man. Like
Remix.
hashtag. we got a whole list of hashtags for you guys. So make sure you stay connected with us. And also, as we close out, I got to shout out our connected team that really keeps things intact for us, which allows us to do this every Monday for you guys. Shout out to Brian, Howie, Mike. Love you, man. Man, let's keep it on. Let's keep doing what we're doing. Thank you, Jay, and Brian. Okay, guys. So, man, we look forward to seeing you next week. We'll have more new jobs coming your way. And also, too, we're now in the culinary division. So for those chefs who can cook, man, we got something for you guys, too. So keep tuning in because we're going to be bringing you some cool culinary grind ops, all right?
Right. Oh, I can cook too. Da-da-da-da.
So without any further ado, folks, we are out. Man, stay on the grind.
Just like the connected sign.
Just like the connected. It was perfect. It was perfect.
So, man, make sure you get up, go get your grind on, go get it. No one is going to get it for you. And, man, start your day, hit it running, all right?
Yes.
What more can I say on DJ?